Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Studio 78 podcast. I am your host, Nache Snow from nachesnow.com. That is NACHESNOW.com. Thank you for joining me for another episode. I'm doing actually a short coaching call today. So this episode will be about 20 minutes. It's similar to episode 5 where I talked to Nache about where she was going to take her photography business, except this one is a little bit more focused. In this episode, I talked to Estrell Riles from estrellriles.com about how to choose a theme for her new website. So she is moving from WordPress to Shopify. Her WordPress website was mainly focused on her blog, and she was blogging about interior design and so forth. But since starting her blog several years ago, she actually started making wall hangings that became pretty popular. And so now she wants a site that focuses on her products. She's heard a lot of good things about Shopify from me and other people. And so she decided to make the switch from WordPress to Shopify. So a couple of things here. You can sell products on WordPress. They have plugins like WooCommerce and some other things that will allow you to sell products on there. So know that there are options. It's just I prefer Shopify and some other people do because it is a platform that is made for selling products. They have amazing customer service, amazing themes. They have an amazing app. So if you, like Estrell and I, for example, we both will do events. So if you're selling at a craft fair or a farmer's market, like they have an amazing app that you can use to sell your products with. And so it's just their platform is just so amazing. You know, she decided to switch, even though it is a little bit more expensive, just slightly, than self-hosting on WordPress. And definitely more expensive than, let's say, if you're on Etsy, because with Etsy, you don't have to pay for hosting. But if you are looking to have a very powerful e-commerce website that is your website, not sitting on a marketplace like Etsy, Shopify is your jam. With that, I was in a conversation with her and we started talking about content and how that dictates the theme that you should choose. And so this is the conversation we're having. So the part, you'll see how I walk her through like choosing a theme that makes sense for what she wants to do and what content she's going to generate. And I'm hoping that as you hear that, when it's time for you to create your website, it doesn't matter, what platform you decide to use, be it Shopify, be it WordPress, be it something else. You still need to think about like what you want people to do when they get to your website and what type of content you're going to have. Is it going to be more text heavy? Is it going to be image heavy? Are they going to be large images? Are they going to be small images? Are you going to have several logos, featuring people that you work with? Like, what is the purpose? What content do you have? Like, what content are you thinking about putting on there? How large do you want your logo? Does your logo not really matter? And it doesn't matter if the theme has it like, very small at the top right, or do you want it huge in front and center? I mean, all those little things really, really matter. And so what you'll hear is a conversation, and this is like just a normal conversation that I would have with anyone. So you're going to hear her like even sounding a little sad and frustrated at certain points because it's like, it's a hard thing. Like you want to buy what's called a premium theme, like any theme that costs money is considered a premium theme. You want to buy a really good premium theme, but if you invest in a premium theme, you want to make sure you make the right choice. So it's just like, oh my God, should I choose this one? I don't know. So you'll hear that kind of back and forth between the two of us. And note too, with Shopify themes, the premium themes are, an investment. They're like $180, so almost $200 versus maybe some premium themes with WordPress, depending where you go, can cost like $30 to $80. But, as I explained to her in the beginning, you do get your money back if you strategically market yourself and you drive traffic to your website. You will make that money back in like a month. And if you're brand spanking new, maybe 2 months, right? Because they have a lot of integrations too, like into Pinterest and House and Facebook and some other things to help you drive sales to your website. So even with my Creative Route website, I don't even market it that much because I want to be busy and make money, but not crazy busy where that's all my life is making stuff from the time I get up to the time I go to sleep. So I don't even try that hard to market my stuff. And I still was able to make my money back like really quick. And no, too, I have a Shopify site and I still kept my Etsy account too. So I actually sell for both and I feel like they feed off of each other. And so if you want to know more about that, just email me and maybe I can have a whole other episode about like why I chose to do both and the pros and cons and all that good stuff. But anyway, today it's really just focusing on content. So this weekend, I'm also, or I guess by the time this airs, I'm launching my Work With Me page. So if you go to nachesnow.com/workwithme, you will see my rates and how much it costs for me to like help you think through this stuff. And this is just like one part of what I help people with. I also help people like choosing a website and picking a designer to work with and figuring out like what their brand is and how should their pictures be. Should they be dark? Should they be light? When they are thinking about like who they are, like what do they want to say to people, and then that helps dictate like the branding that surrounds them. So all of that is kind of like part of the services that I offer. But I think this coaching call, along with episode 5, just gives you a window into how I talk to people, how I think about things. My style may work for some people, may not work for others. I'm goofy, I'm very blunt and candid, but my ultimate goal is really to help people discover what they want to put out in the universe. That sounds like really heavy, but how they want to be seen and how they want to be known. And then when we figure that out, my goal is to make like their online presence as beautiful as possible, like hashtag getting rid of one ugly website at a time, because I like everything to be like beautiful. And when I see something, I want to know like, oh, this represents that company or that person. And it's a hard thing to do, trust me, I struggle with that sometimes. But anywho, I'm going to just jump into this call. I hope you guys like this type of thing. Let me know, of course, if you want to hear more of it. And if you want to follow along with some of the themes that we're discussing from Shopify, I have the links to those themes in the show notes, which is nachesnow.com/09. That's nachesnow.com/09. So as we're talking about the themes, you can actually look at them if you want to. But anywho, if you like this type of thing and you want to hear more of it, tweet at me, Facebook me, or email me at hello@nachesnow.com. Here we go. All right. Hey, everybody out there. So Astro is probably a little annoyed with me, but that's okay. So we just finished recording an episode for the podcast that we do together, the Kenna Parker podcast. And normally after we record for that podcast or for my podcast, which you're listening to now, the Studio 78 podcast, we call each other back and we always have just like a little chit chat. Estrella loves these little chit chats.
Well, it depends because this chit chat was going fine until you cut me off and says, "Oh, I should be recording this. Stop talking." And let me put on my headphones.
That did interrupt the natural flow of it, but that's okay.
It did.
So we're talking about Estrell's website, and you guys have heard Estrell before on the podcast. She was on episode, where were you, number 2? And her website is estrellriles.com, A-S-T-R. How do you spell your name?
ASTRALLES.com.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Yeah. And so, we talked, I think we talked about it before on the podcast, but she is currently on WordPress, but the focus of that website was really her home decor. So, we talked about how she's been featured on places like Design Sponge, showing like her home. But what she's really been focusing on for the last year or so is like her home decor stuff, her wall hangings. And so she now needs a website that focuses more on selling those than it does her like interior decorating stuff. Did I capture that correctly?
That is correct.
This is like not a court of law.
That is
right. So just to catch you guys up, so we began this conversation about like Shopify. She said she signed up for it. And then we started looking through all these different themes that she's thinking about purchasing on Shopify. And she keeps complaining about how much they cost. Which they are a little expensive, but it's so worth the investment.
$200 though?
Yes, but they're really good themes. You get support. Like, really, you're paying for, like, maintenance, too, because at any point, you could, like, if you have a problem with the theme, you can contact the theme developers and ask them, like, for help. And you have to think of it, too, as, like, an investment. I feel like Shopify for the year, like, you could pay for it on a monthly basis, but Shopify for a year plus the theme that first year probably will cost you, like, $300 to $500, something like that.
That's why I would be paying monthly.
But the thing about it is, once you have it, if you do it well and you market it, you're going to be making thousands of dollars. So that like money won't even matter. Like when I first started my Shopify site, I made that back in like the next month after I launched. So don't worry about that. So we started talking about like which theme she should use, and she asked me this question, and the question was, because I kept asking her, I'm like, what's going to be the content? Because that'll affect the theme that you want to choose for your website. And she's like, what do you mean? They're two separate things. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, actually, it does matter. So I was trying to think of a good way to explain like why your content matters. And you need to figure out like what your content is going to be before you get your theme. So you don't get a theme that doesn't really fit what you're trying to do. And then you're shoving stuff in there. So that's where we're at now. So, okay, Astro. And just tell me if this doesn't make sense or whatever. Just chime in. Be natural. So this is, to me, this is why this is kind of like symbiotic, like the content and the theme. First of all, it's like the story you want to tell, right? So for me, like a question for you would be, when the person, the buyer comes to your homepage, what do you want them to do, feel, and see?
I want my images to pop. So that's what I want to be the focus, are the images. So I want the buyer or customer, whomever, to be like, oh my God, these are so beautiful. What nice photos these are. That's what I want to be the focus.
Okay, so they do that, and then what?
And then they go to the shop section where they can view all the products individually and see the prices and the details about each product. And then next, there's the blog page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all of my home decor posts will be.
So they get to the site, they're like, ooh, this is beautiful. Then they click like shop, and then they see pictures with the information, the details immediately, but they can click in for more, purchase if they want to, and then if they still are in love, they can go to the blog.
Right.
Um, Another question I have for you is like your products, are they going to be horizontal or vertical pictures or both?
Well, that's the same question that the photographer asked me. I guess um, there's a such thing as a square vertical, right?
No.
Maybe
Because
I.
the square is just it's like since it's just a square. So it's like you have the square and then vertical and horizontal. Because square is like it's just a square.
I'm gonna go with vertical and horizontal
So
because
both.
a lot of the themes that I've seen are they have edge to edge photos. So horizontal would be perfect for that, right?
Mm.
Okay.
So just a few things here so you can like see like how thinking through this. And I'm just writing stuff down. How thinking through this makes a difference and helps you choose a theme. So, you need, since you want edge to edge photos, you need a theme that has edge to edge photos. So your content, your images, the elements you're putting in here is already dictating like what you're looking for in the theme. So you want edge to edge photos, which will probably be that homepage. As soon as somebody comes on there, they'll see a beautiful horizontal picture, and then maybe your headers will also have horizontal pictures. Now, your products themselves, you probably want them to be vertical because Pinterest is your friend. And vertical images on Pinterest do best. So you need a theme that you know will display your vertical images nicely, right? Let's start with also for the homepage. Not only do you just need a horizontal image, but you need it to be big because you wanted something like as soon as people get there, they see you, they see your logo, and it's amazing. One thing about the homepage I need to ask is like, do you want products at the bottom of the page, like below the fold? So after someone scrolls, do they have an option to purchase products?
I don't think so.
You
I
just
want them
want
to
the big
actually go
image.
to, well, it could be
Oh,
like multiple images, but I don't want them to shop from the homepage. I want them to actually go to the store page. So
so
those themes where you can like just keep scrolling and keep scrolling and keep scrolling down on the homepage, I don't really care for that.
thinking through that, then what you need to know is like when you pick a theme, it is a theme that the home, like the way the home is set up, that top picture or the first picture you see covers like the entire screen top to bottom, like literally edge to edge. So, for example, that alchemy theme that you were talking about, that wouldn't work, you know?
Or even like it doesn't have to cover the entire screen, but maybe the majority of it.
Well, then what would be at the bottom?
It can maybe be like a link to my about page or something like that, like a little blurb about what I sell.
I mean, yeah, it could be, but I feel like that's a waste. Because they, just like they can get to your shop, they can get to your about, right, in your navigation. Because what's so special about your about page? You're not selling anything on there. There's like your call to, so your one call to action on your homepage is going to be learn more about me instead of shop.
I don't know.
so, so, so to me, that alchemy theme that you chose. So just for the people out there to listening, we're looking through these Shopify themes, and there's this one theme. It has a big, beautiful picture at the top, but there's this box that kind of cuts into the picture, like the bottom of the picture. And then as you scroll, it's like a box where you could add like some text and a link. And then there's like another picture. So you could then continue to scroll. But since you really don't need or you really don't want any content at the bottom for the most part, I would say you need something where the image is the sole focus and nothing is cutting into it. So, for example, that showcase theme would to me make more sense because even though we've already talked about that theme, the only thing I don't like about that theme is so for you guys out there, if you can envision it, instead of it having like a regular navigation going across the top, it has what's called like a little hamburger. And those are those three little short lines that you see a lot on mobile websites to let you know that there's a navigation. But instead they're using that hamburger on a desktop website, which is kind of modern and sleek. But if your audience isn't tech savvy, then they're going to be like, where's the navigation? But ignore that. But you know how you go, when you go there, you see this big, beautiful image. It covers everything, top to bottom, left to right. Then it has some text on the bottom where you can link. And then it allows you to do multiple pages that, like, a slider, right? If you chose to. So to me, with what you've said, that makes sense. So like when you're thinking through content and you're thinking through like the photographer, like you want her to take some really big, well, it's all going to be big because she's taking professional photos, but you want her to take these really vibrant, beautiful photos that'll look good on the homepage because they're going to be huge, right? So that's kind of like part of your content, like planning for your content. And now because of that, like what types of theme to look for. And then as far as like your shop page, you mentioned you wanted to be able to see the price and maybe a little bit of the details before they click in, right?
Well, no, I just want them to see the price first.
Just the price. Okay.
So what about the grid then?
So, so with the grid theme, okay. So here's the thing with the grid theme. So for you guys out there, as I'm thinking through this, and know for people who are considering Shopify, they will have these themes are expensive. Like the grid theme Nache is considering is $180, but it's really good. It's really beautiful, and they show you like 4 different styles. Like a lot of themes have like 2 to 4 styles you could use. So Astro, based on what you told me that you're looking for, the light theme to me isn't gonna do it. I think or it's not light theme. The light version of the grid theme might not be the best. I'm just looking through the other ones, but that one doesn't work either. Mm, mm, mm. I mean, it's a little bit different than what you described, but it could work. So for those of you guys out there, basically one of the themes she's considering, instead of like the photo being edge to edge, where it's top to bottom, left and right, going to all the edges. It has like the logo at the top, a navigation, and then a big photo at the bottom of all that goes kind of to the bottom of the screen and also goes edge to edge, left to right. That could work. It still could work. And then when you scroll down, like, would you have like all the additional pictures they have where it's featuring some of your pieces?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that could work. And then, so as far as the shop page, when you click in there, you see like they have all these photos, but the photos that they're showing right now are horizontal. So you would want to email this theme person just to be sure that you could also put vertical images here and that they would show up nicely. You probably can, they're just not showing it, but you just want to make sure. Because right now, all the pictures are horizontal. And to me, that does not work for wall hangings because wall hangers are naturally vertical.
Right.
So if, let's say, they come back to you and they say, sorry, you could only have horizontal photos, even though you love this theme, this isn't the theme for you. Right? That sucks, but those are the type of questions that you have to ask yourself about the content. And then once you know like what content you want, what theme to choose for your content.
Okay. And so how do I contact them to email? I found it.
Did you find it? Okay. Because I'm not signed in, so I don't see anything. And another thing, so you said you wanted to have a blog, right? And so with the blog, what I always think about is like, how do I want that blog to be displayed? And I look at that theme and I see if it does what I want it to do. Like, does the feature image look good? Does the text under it look good? So for example, this is a solid blog page because it doesn't have the text running like almost across the page. You know how you've seen some of those blogs and the text is like really long where it goes like left to right, like forever before the text wraps back around? I hate those blogs. But this one, it's like the text is kind of like center in a page and it's pretty clean. And that's second. This is like, it's not even secondary. It's like third, because it's like homepage, beautiful, shop, awesome, then blog. And then, oh, by the way, fourth, if you want to learn about me, this is who I am. Right? I mean, so it's little stuff like that. Like I think of Pinterest. What I always do is when I see like because Pinterest is important to me, when I look at for a new theme, I always try to pin, like I don't actually pin it, but I hit the pin button and see if I could pin the images on that theme. And that lets me know if the images are pinnable, because sometimes the way themes are programmed, you can't pin the images because they're like behind this wall. It's hard to explain, but if you try to pin, like if somebody then, like if you buy a theme like that and somebody tries to pin your image, nothing will come up, which is a pain in the... So that's something else to think about. Logo, like depending if your logo is horizontal or vertical or whatever, some themes force your logo into a little bitty corner. Some themes have it front and center. Like, so you have to think about like, oh, how's my logo going to look? And am I okay with how the theme is going to display it? And
well, this just got harder.
No, it didn't, because you answered a lot of the questions.
Well, I think I'm going to go with one of the free themes. That way.
No.
If it doesn't work out, then I'll just go to another free one.
No. Because number one, you have me, so I'm not going to let you choose something that sucks. Right? Like, so for those of you out there, like if you were going through this and you had no clue what your content is or what you want it to be, then I would maybe say go with one of the free themes. But Astrel has a little bit of help. So there's no excuse for her. She needs to just get a good theme. I mean, unless you just want to save money and just see how things go. Yeah. I mean, because the Shopify themes, the free ones are nice too. Like I just went into like the Boundless theme, and it's like really clean. It's very modern. It's really nice. So it's just really, you just got to find what you're looking for based on what we discussed. So even, for example, like, I don't know if you see like the Boundless theme in the free section, but they have like this lookbook page, and the lookbook page is amazing because it allows you to post really big photos, and that's the focus because it's like a real lookbook. And that's beautiful. But like, let's say if you would have went with that other theme, they don't have any pages where you could display photos this large. So that's where that content comes into play, right? Because if like, let's say you wanted a lookbook and you wanted to be able to showcase big, beautiful, large photos of your wall hangings, then you need to find a theme that allows you to display the images wider, than what we saw in that other theme. So it boils down to the content. It's like, and when I say content, I'm talking about pictures and text, to include like the text that goes with the product and the text that's going to go on the blog, and also to include like social media, like where your little social media links are going to go, to include your logo, how your logo is going to look, where it's going to sit, all that good stuff. Thoughts?
I might be going back to the drawing board on this one.
So what about the other theme is giving you pause now?
What, the grid?
Mm-hmm.
Just the vertical images, whether or not I'll be able to use vertical images.
But I bet you will. It's just they chose not to display it. Like, because that's usually pretty normal. It's just like you're just checking to make sure. But I bet you they do. So I wouldn't get discouraged about that. Because that's a normal thing.
Okay.
So anywho, I mean, for the folks out there, because we're at like the 25-minute mark-ish, I thought hopefully you guys found this episode to be helpful when you're thinking about your content, and when you're thinking about your theme, how you can kind of connect the two together, and how it is this symbiotic relationship. Like your content really does dictate the theme. There's very few times where, maybe once, where I saw a theme that was so beautiful that I just made the content fit in the theme. But that's kind of backwards, because if I have like a certain objective to make people look at my blog or to shop or to whatever, and the theme isn't right, then, it's like a waste of time, no matter how beautiful it looks. Okay, so just now for the outro, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. The first thing is, if you head on over to Estrell Riles right now, the website is now up. We recorded this episode several weeks ago. So her Shopify website is now live. She decided to go with a grid theme. Since talking to her, I walked her through making a few modifications to her website, and it looks great. Know that it'll change even further in the next week or so, because as of today, she's having professional photos taken of her wall hangings. So the images that you see will change, and that in itself will change the look and feel of the website. And I don't know if you guys just heard that cha-ching. It's kind of funny. I just made a sale. Sorry about that. But anyway, but yeah, that will change the look and feel of the website, like, so it'll look even more polished and look even more professional. So I'm really proud of her. And so, I encourage you guys, if you guys are looking for help like this, like if you found having conversations like this will help your brand, head on over to nachesnow.com/work with me. And I have a form there. I have my prices, but I also have a form there for you to fill out. So I can make sure like that this relationship, right, is the right fit. Literally, I am walking you through like how to make good decisions for your website, how to do certain things. And in the case of Astrell, I've always done her web presences in the past. And this time I was like, nope, I'm not doing anything but just having conversations with you to help you figure out how to make good choices. And she set this up all by herself. I just kind of talked her through a few things, and between me and Google and a little bit of hard work, she was able to create or recreate this fantastic website on her own. If this is like something you're trying to do or you're trying to better your current website, please just head on over to nachesnow.com/work with me. So I will leave you guys with that. I hope you all found this to be helpful. If you did, please go to nachesnow.com/09 and leave a comment. Tell us what you think about her new website. Tell us what you think about this coaching call. And tell me if you want to hear more calls like this about various business topics where I walk people through like decisions that they're trying to, figure out. Okay, that was a lot. Anyway, you know what I'm going to say. Please head on over to iTunes and rate me. Android, if you guys have any way of rating me on your platforms, please rate me there too. iTunes is the big one, so if you could rate me there, that would be fantastic. If you happen to be on Android, but you have an iPhone friend, if you could just be like, hey, can you do me a favor and rate one of my favorite podcasts 5 stars? Please and thank you. I would really appreciate it. It's a little thing, but it goes a long way. And iTunes is the biggest platform. So the more ratings I get on there, the more love I get on there, the more exposure I get. And so it's like paying with me. It's like paying me without paying me, right? Paying me with recognition. And, it helps a ton. And every time you guys share an episode or share a tweet or share anything, that helps a lot too. It goes like a long, long way. So for all of you guys who've done that, thank you. And I look forward to talking to you guys next time. I have an amazing guest coming on. All right. Take care. Bye.